What's the point? I'm sure a lot of people have asked this question before. What's the point of cooking, or even learning how to cook, when I can simply order food and stay home, or have someone else cook food for me? What's the point of driving, or even learning how to drive, when I can simply have someone drive me wherever I want? What's the point of writing anything if I can just have generative artificial intelligence do the work for me? In the first two cases, it's true. A person who is financially capable of securing such options and is regularly strapped for time would be reasonable to do so. In the third case, it's true as well. Even though there are free AI tools out there, should one decide to opt for paid services, then even some of the prominent ones like ChatGPT would not be terribly expensive. Using this type of AI has become more accessible than ever before. However, there is something lost in all of these cases. Challenge. Generally speaking, as is the case with most skills, the pursuit of acquiring and improving and honing a skill grants a person confidence and satisfaction. They will perceive themselves as someone more competent and of greater value to those around them. The man who knows how to fish is internally richer than the man fed from a constant supply of seafood. The latter will never venture out into the water with net in hand for hours and days, and in so not doing, they will never experience those harsh conditions and challenges that the former has. Now, does that mean that people who buy fish or meat from their local market have to go out and catch the fish or kill the bovine or poultry themselves? No, it doesn't. It wouldn't necessarily improve their enjoyment of either. But what it would do is improve the people's understanding of what it takes. It would offer perspective. Challenge offers perspective. And with that, let's expand on our third example and talk about writing. There is definitely a strong case to be made about artificial intelligence and its enhancement of productivity. It is too tempting to possess a technical magical wand that you could swish and finish your projects in a fraction of the time. For children, it trivializes homework. That's why exams are so important, in a way, because that's when skill and mettle and knowledge are measured. This AI wand could create an exceptional piece of work. But when the person is placed on the spot in an educational or vocational environment, that's when the rubber hits the road. Unless that person is a professional con artist, the lack of study will be evident. In theory, an educational system teaches a person how to think and helps them develop their critical thinking. Teachers play a major role in sculpting students. They give them questions to answer, they give them problems to solve, and ideally give them constructive and useful feedback on their behavior and performance. If students engage fully, in spite of how difficult it might be due to age or family-related factors, then they stand to reap the most benefits. Cutting corners and circumventing challenges by making use of AI does not necessarily strain a student's mind in a way that would strengthen it. It would be the equivalent of a robot performing bench presses in order for you to get a bigger chest. Analyzing a story, finding patterns in mathematics and data, solving geometrical problems, or simply stating an opinion on paper. These are some important ways in which a student's mind can be pulled in many different directions and grow as a result. Keeping a diary used to be, and still is, a great way of creating a habit of writing. Putting pen to paper and simply stating thoughts or ideas from the same day or carried on from previous ones. Nowadays, digital diaries make writing the easiest it has ever been. But of course, every person has their own way of writing. I know a lot of poets who prefer to take notes or write a poem they came up with on a notebook. Others prefer digital means and write on various apps on their phones or laptops. Which is the best is not really important. What is important is writing. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I start writing? Where do I start? Well, a great way to dip your toes in the writing pool is through a common technique called free writing. Simply put, you start writing continuously. No stopping. For 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you give yourself as much time as you need to. If you have a prompt, you might need some more time. A prompt is essentially a springboard from which you can start writing. Like, for example, imagine you are writing a letter to someone that starts with the phrase, "Mom told you this would happen." Or imagine your theme for the session is, autumn or winter or midnight, and then you start writing around those ideas. If you feel like deviating from the prompt or letting your mind wander and lead you where it wants, that is totally fine. The whole point is to get started and to not stop. No stopping. Stuff like grammar and spelling and mistakes, we don't care. Don't pay any attention to it. Just keep writing. The whole point of this exercise is to warm up both hand and mind and to establish a flow. What you end up with could be completely unusable or ineligible matter. We don't care. It might be a good foundation from which a poem or an idea for a story might emerge. Or it could be an honest-to-God admission of feelings and or thoughts that you could use later on for future reference and personal growth. The result is ultimately up to you and your state of mind during the free writing session. You will find links in the description about free writing if you would like to know more. I am the Grumpy Poet. Good luck with your writing.